should be the Lakers, but it's not. It's the New Orleans Pelicans with pick number 8. So who do you think that they're going to select?
All right. Well, obviously, in the past couple days, right, there's been this rumor that the Suns want to trade for this pick, which that makes no sense to me at all. I don't see it. Like, I don't know what they're trading to get the eighth pick. I don't know who they want to draft, where they exactly need the eighth pick, because it can't be somebody who they think is a chance of going higher than eight. So I don't really understand this idea. But if I'm New Orleans, I don't know. I like their team. I like their team dynamic. So I don't know. I like AJ Griffin to New Orleans, to be honest. Like, he can shoot. He doesn't need the ball, right? They've obviously got, CJ McCollum, Brendan Ingram, Zion if he plays. So they don't need somebody who's like dominant. But I think AJ Griffin come off the bench for his first year, right? See what happens. And he's just a good like plug and play role player who isn't exactly like needed to carry anything. But I mean, that's what he did at Duke, and that's what he can do here.
Okay. I like that. I like the idea of it. I mean, having another shooter there, spacing is going to be huge in the NBA. It's going to be, he's going to have a way more space than he ever did in college. Joining the NBA, obviously, like you said, they have a great kind of dynamic there with they have CJ McCollum, maybe Zion's coming back, Brandon Ingram. They're a good team. They look good. Now, I was getting all ready to say this pick. I also don't think the Suns and New Orleans will make a trade because I don't know who the Suns would trade. I mean, the only idea would be maybe DeAndre Ayton. Maybe the Pelicans want a big there. They can slot him in. I think their centers it's not Valanciunas. Is it Valanciunas? Is that their center? Jonas
Yeah.
Valanciunas. Okay, yeah. And he's solid, but maybe they want to go younger, max that potential at DeAndre Ayton. But my thing is though, maybe they're on different trajectories. New Orleans, the Phoenix, but I think New Orleans can compete next year. So I don't know why, unless you really think DeAndre Ayton's going to push you over the top as the Pelicans. I don't know why you want to trade for this with the Suns. I don't know what the Suns would offer. I'm assuming it can't be much or anyone that can make an instant impact on your team. So I wouldn't really help them out. Why would you get an older player on your team that's not going to help you out that much and help another team win it all, like, or not win it all, but win more than you? But the player that I think would be very interesting, and I know they got Jose Alvarado, this lockdown defender who I guess isn't really, he's like he's like one of those, he's a really good, smart guy by hiding in the corner and stealing the ball every once a game from hiding in the corner. I don't know how you don't pick that up as an NBA team, but it works. But the player that I want to see on the Pelicans, he doesn't need to start right away, but is Benedict Mathurin from Arizona. Okay, and I think the Pelicans would look at this, and I think they would consider making the selection. I know there's Dyson Daniels, again, great defender, but Mathurin kind of prove it. I'm not buying into this whole G League stuff. I'm not. I heard. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really buying into it that much. I don't think that it's all that. And again, if you can't shoot and you can't score in the G League, you're not doing too hot because I mean, I interviewed with John Blossom game, and he said that the G League is probably the one that is the easiest league to score in. It's easier to score in than in college. So if you can't score there, what makes me think that you can score in the NBA? But I think Martha, when he can defend he can play every guy. He can defend every position of the court, is what I was trying to say. And he has great scoring versatility. And I think that he would be able to slide in right with that team and provide a good presence off the bench. I think that would be a perfect selection. And he's 6'6". If you can develop him properly, dude's going to be super, super good. That's the other thing. Like, it's not often that you see a 6'6" guard. Obviously, he's not one of these extremely fast, speedy guys. But if you're a 6'6" guard and you can develop a better offense, I mean, maybe he's just going to be a 4-inch shorter version of Ben Simmons, but can actually shoot the ball. And I think that's pretty intriguing. So that's who I think. I think that'd be a really good selection for the Pelicans to make.
Yeah, no, I do like that pick. He's right up there. I think he's good. I think he's good. I just feel like the shooting might be more like needed to have like the full lockdown shooting of someone like an AJ Griffin. Just if they have like Valanciunas on the court and they have Zion on the court at the same time, like Zion not really a shooter, Valanciunas not really a shooter. So I feel like having someone who's absolutely knocked down could be useful in spots. So I think he's probably more useful right now, whereas Matherin could be like a better long term idea.
Yeah, I agree with that. I see that. And I mean the Pelicans, they already have solid defenders with like Herb Jones. He's really good, and they don't really have a true point guard on that team. They have obviously CJ McCollum, but then they have Jose Alvarado, Devontae Graham. Trey Murphy did really well for them. So I guess I understand they don't necessarily need another defender, but if they can develop a great sense of great defenders around them and have that great defense and they already have scores, I think it would be super interesting because I don't know how much Griffin can. Again, Griffin is he's a knockdown. He will be considered kind of the knockdown 3-point shooter. And I know those are valuable players, but you can also pick up some of those players in free agency, and it's going to cost you some more money, but there's not going to be an outrageous contract if that makes sense. So I think that you look at Martharin and Griffin, maybe Griffin can slide in there better, but you can get a Griffin. You can't get a Martharin if that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. I like AJ Griffin. I think I don't know. He's been injured like a lot during his time. Like I think he had a couple major injuries during high school, but I think he like sneaky has good like developmental potential. Like he can kind of handle. He can get to his spots, and I feel like maybe you don't need that right now on the Pelicans, but I mean, right now your number one like offensive option is Brandon Ingram. And like if CJ Kong gets a little older, like you can slide AJ Griffin in there and he's a good secondary like playmaking option as opposed to having like Zion handle the ball all the time, which I don't know is the best use of him.